Good morning. It is February 26, 2021. We got a lot of price action to go over today. A lot. So let's get started. A lot of aggressive trades you could have taken today, and a lot of ones that I would consider safe. So let's take a look at the channel first and foremost. I ended up putting in price levels at 25%, at 75% because of this overshoot of the midline. So really you could have had the midline like this. And it really would have worked out well. But I just figured, I don't know, the overshoot, I might as well factor that in. And at this 75% level, there's congestion. So it might be the more appropriate channel level. And you know what? We might. How does that work? Yeah, that's actually, that makes more sense. And then we drag it down. Yeah. All right, so anyway, this is what I saw today, and there might be more trades as we go through it. But I did a pretty thorough examination. So you could have been trading this range that started from yesterday. As you can see, these spikes, and that's why I took these. It looks like there's one here. Let's take a look. Let's back out, as Mack says. Whoops. Okay, looks like this is. You get this early on. What time is this? Yeah, this is an appropriate time. So you get this second entry off the EMA after this large spike up. You can take that second entry long. You get this double top up here, and that is an important price level. So really you could have taken this one over here as well, but that's aggressive. You know, this one, unfortunately, these two are both aggressive, but they're such great entries. This is like a double top. This is like a triple top. And then you could have taken this lower high maybe. But yeah, it's aggressive because that looks like it might be a channel that hasn't broken yet. You know, so it's aggressive. But if you did take that, you get a nice move down. Prices come down to what looks like a support level down here, and they bounce back up. They form a range. You get a with trend break. But if you're trying to be aggressive, you get a nice signal bar to go short below, anticipating it going back into the range, and that's exactly what it does. And then you get a counter trend break, and you get this. This signal bar is just weak though, but it would have worked out. Unfortunately, with this break, you don't get a good signal bar, so you can't enter on that. You would have made a lot of money if you did. A lot of money. So big steep move down here. Crazy few days, by the way, guys. Hopefully no one's doing poorly. Get some congestion here. It turns out to be a channel, but you don't find that out until maybe, if you were being quick, you draw the bottom of the channel down here, drag it up, draw it off these highs. In that case, you could have gone short off this, which is a second entry off the trend line. So that is aggressive, but if you saw that, the trend line, then you would have been good. Prices, that was a break, a bit of a break. You get two legs down to a new low, and then you get another leg down, and prices just kind of hang out here. This doesn't really end up looking like it's a leg. And this is the midline. This is at the midline. So, which I was anticipating was the the bottom of the channel. So this is aggressive going short here, but it looks like it would trap plenty of longs. That's why I marked it anyway. And since it did trap all these longs, and you know what, you might go long on this back into the, because this is a breakout of what would have been what we were considering bottom of the channel. So that's like a lower high, anticipating it going back in the channel. But I think people are just afraid of going long after the past few days. Anyway, you get this, and you get a big leg down. I don't know how I drew that channel like that. That doesn't seem like it makes sense. More like that. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I drew that. Get this break, you only get one leg down. And this is all the way down near the bottom. So this is a big overshoot. And we get some congestion after move up. So then we get a width trend break. It comes down, breaks out. And there we go. And you get a little move. I would say this is aggressive. I don't know why I didn't mark it as not aggressive. This isn't as aggressive because it's a second entry. But this is definitely aggressive. It doesn't even look like that channel broke yet. And if you did take this, you get a nice move up. There's a lot of big moves on these days. You get a second entry here, but it looks congestive. And even though it's after this big leg up, it just looks a little risky. But it is off of the midline. So that's another thing to think about. Get some congestion, no good entries here, but it breaks up into more congestion. I don't think you would have seen, oh, this is like a breakout pullback though. So that is one reason to take that. Okay, I just had a really long interruption. So I believe I was talking about this congestive area. This is actually, this would be a third entry here, and you wouldn't have this trend line drawn. So it's tough to say, you know, in hindsight, it's easy to say to go long here, but it's tough to say, but it is off the, it is off the EMA as well. So it's tough to see this, and it kind of looks like this is a trend going down. So that you might not want to do that. Maybe I should make this green. But after this, you might have this trend line drawn. So anyway, it makes a new high. And after this is when we kind of know that this is the top of the congestive area. And then it comes down, you get a first entry, second entry long. But if you move these highs, the trend line off these highs to this swing low, that looks like you're going right into the trend line. So this is aggressive. It does work out. Thing is, prices at this point they kept going higher. And this is the top of the trend line. So we are expecting prices to go back up there. But that's the first break. Get a leg up, 2 legs up to a new high before it starts reversing. First entry, you don't get a signal bar to go short beneath. You get an overshoot that leads to a break. Second entry short, first entry, second entry short, back into congestion. So I had this marked as aggressive before, but when you look at this congestive area and drag it over, that's right back into the congestion. So that's definitely, for me, that is not a green arrow. That is a good trade. Anything with multiple factors in your favor, for me, at the key entry points, is a good trade. Get a little trap here. After the reversal, we get the 1 leg, 2 legs down before it starts reversing. You get a first entry. Well, I guess this would be the failed second entry short, but I guess this is the third entry. That's a trap. You get trapped shorts here, and that's why it makes this big leg up. This big leg up leads to some congestion. You get a pullback. Some people might have gone long here, and I'm sure they would have gotten filled. That kind of looks like a first entry, second entry. But I didn't mark it just because I don't know what's going on here. And it's just hard to say. Maybe I should have like a level of support drawn here. I don't know. But anyway, congestion up here comes down, congestion up here, right here. Only reason I wouldn't mark this is because I don't think I would have this level of congestion drawn. Maybe I would though, because yeah, it's tough to say because this is a lower level than this up here. Let's take a look at this. But I really like entering when. That's another thing, actually. This closes inside the range. I like it when it closes outside the range, like this. I do like this. Why I didn't mark it is because it's not a lower high. It does look like we had a trend line break. If we're going off here, it does look like we had a trend line break, but it just doesn't look like a lower high. And I think I tried to measure. Let's see. I guess I probably measured this leg. Yeah. Measured this leg, moved it to here, and this came a few ticks short of that, which makes sense because we have the trend line. And this trade I marked over here, this second entry long, is definitely aggressive. So we get this leg up, and we get a break. We don't get like any legs. We don't get pullback to the EMA. If this was at the EMA, I would be really in favor of it, but it's not. It's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. So that's super aggressive, but it is a second entry long, first entry, second entry, after a big leg up. That's the only reason I marked it in the first place. Matter of fact, we might look at this. And then prices, we get this channel moving down once it hits the top of the range. And if you're being aggressive, you got this range drawn. That's like almost like a triple test of that level, but it's just congestive. So you don't really want to do that. You get a first entry, second entry, but that doesn't tick lower. So it's not really a trap. That is a first entry, second entry long. First entry, second entry long. I didn't see that. I did not see that. That is a first entry, second entry long. Let's see. Would it have filled? Or would you have gotten scalped out? 47.25, 49. So this is an area I missed, and it is a second entry long. So you know what? Let's just mark that. Oh, but you know what? That's counter trend. Yeah, that's why I didn't mark it. Okay. Counter trend, of course, because it's in a downtrend. Yeah, so we're not going long there. Okay, so here, this looks like a second entry short, but it technically isn't because this is the new low. But when you get this engulfing bar at the top, back into the congestion, and that's the first break, it easy to say in hindsight, but look at how many longs got trapped here. Look at that big move down. That's a lot of money you would have made. A lot of money. So I like that. First break. Then we get congestion down here. Why? Does it look like it's an important price level? Well, kind of looks like it's stuck in between this price level and this one. So maybe it found support here. Pops back in. We get this channel up. This is just very choppy. You get some congestion here. Just doesn't look like there's any good entries in here. You get this congestion, this small congestive area, and you get this big bearish bar, and the floor just falls out. Get a big move down. Probably measured these legs. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, that's the first leg. First leg comes to here, and it goes further than that, as you can see. But you can't enter on this. It's just the first entry. Unfortunately, because you get this huge move down that would have been an easy runner, especially after this big bar. Easy runner, easy money, but no entry. You might, I'm looking at this right here. This is very, very aggressive, but it is like a triple test far from the EMA, but it's a slightly neutral bar. However, it looks like, or a double test, but however, it looks like a trap. So I'll mark that as a trap and double test. I'm not marking it with an arrow. You don't really get it. You know, I guess you could look at that first, second, third entry. What Mack always says, when it's matching lows or highs, the count starts over. So you could, that's like a first entry. I don't know. And I was debating whether I wanted to mark one of these signal bars, because they're nice and bearish at the top of the range. But it was just hard to know while price action was printing to the chart whether or not this was the top of the range. And even afterward, I might move the range down because of this area. So this is the midline of the channel. So I was looking to go long here. And you do get this. I think if you entered, you would have scalped out. This is aggressive, though. I don't know why I didn't mark this as aggressive, because that's going long into this congestive area. But I think you would have scalped out 25.25. Yeah, 27.50. A lot of big bars today too. So you get this break outside of the trend. It's actually just below the midline, but as I said earlier in the video, this was like really the bottom of the channel for me at the beginning of the day. And then I guess shorts get trapped. Comes up. First entry, failed second entry short, but signal bar is too neutral, too bearish actually. But then you get this, and I'm pretty sure I went long on this on the simulator. It would obviously be a better entry to treat this like a failure, but I just went long above it because if you look, this is off the midline, so I'm expecting prices to go all the way back up to the top of the trend line. I don't think they did, but I really like this. This was an aggressive move. I didn't have the trend line drawn at this point, so I actually wouldn't take this. But this is a first entry, second entry, first entry, second, failed second entry short. That's probably why I had it marked. Get this congestion. So what's up with this? You would have gotten scalped out if you did this. So I don't know why I marked it, but I didn't. Kind of looks like a second entry too. 27.75. Yeah, you would have gotten scalped out. I mean, I think it's just too far from the EMA. It closes too far from the EMA and the trend line. This closes too far from the bottom of the trend line too, but I don't know. Yeah, you would have gotten scalped out. Anyway, we just get congestion, and that leads us into 12 o'clock. So hope you had a good week. Hope you had a good day. Hope you guys made some money. Let's take one more look at the day. A lot of price action, guys. A lot of price action. And for those of you heavily invested in stocks, I hope next week is better for you. Have a good weekend.